do commander training tonight, and that is why I'm streaming tonight. Fira's going to lead, and I'm going to teach. So there you go. All right. So Fira says we're going to start on. What'd you say? Blue?
Red.
Oh, red. My bad. Sorry. So sorry. I was thinking we was red ourselves, but we're
Nope.
not.
No, we're blue.
Hmm. So, um, hello everybody who came or is coming or is here. Fira's gonna run tonight. So, oh shit, I meant to get her some. Well, I got some in my bag, I'm sure. Give her some siege here.
I got siege on me. It's fine.
Are you sure? Cause I can give you
Oh,
some.
it's fine. I got lots on me.
Okay. Um, so Fira's gonna run, which means she's gonna be in charge of the squad. You know, which we're having commander training. So I do want everybody to do one thing before we go out, and Fira can pass the tag along, and this way it won't interrupt her so much. So anybody who has a tag um, and doesn't know how to operate the squad interface, is there anybody here that doesn't know how to do that? Anybody?
I don't have a tag.
Okay. Well, okay, but I'll see. What about you?
Yep, I do it a lot because I used to run missions, so you'd have to sort, mix around, and do the
Do you know how to edit the
command.
squad message?
Yep,
Okay, and you know you can copy and paste in that, right?
yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
L, you know that, right?
Well, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, so we know we need
Yeah.
to teach L. This is what I
You
was.
could you could try all you want. I won't learn how to do that very well. So
Well, do
it's
you know
just
how to even you could even just type in there. You know how to do that?
yeah.
You do know how to do your squad message. Cuz that's very important, guys, cuz when you're running around as a commander and then you get somebody who joins the squad and they're like, "Well, what voice are you in or what voice chat are you in?" Instead of telling them, you could just say, "Hey, look, we're in such and such Discord. The address is in the squad message if you paste it in there." So it's, you know, can save you time and problems down the line there. All right. I guess everybody doesn't want to do the interaction part of tonight.
I just jumped over there to make sure that everything was still in the same place.
Yeah. So, and you know that. Well, I can't even say it now because fear is the thing. But about the changing of who can join and who can't, and lock it and all that kind of stuff. Everybody knows how to do that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if
Okay.
you open your tag menu and you want to lock your group so people don't move around, there's a little box you can check lock group. You can check allow members to send an invite. And then there's a little drop down menu. You can say yes, anyone can join. You can say yes, people can join with approval, or you can say no, nobody can join that squad. It is just for us, and no one else is allowed in.
That's right. So everybody seems to know that part, Safira. So I guess that part I don't need to tell anybody.
Okay. So you want me to actually go somewhere now?
It's all up to you.
I just didn't want to interrupt the lesson there.
No, that's fine. I didn't know how many people were going to know who was going to show up tonight and who needed to know and who didn't need to know. I see Miss Callie just joined us. Hello, Callie, and hello, Baron.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
So I missed something.
We're doing commander training tonight, and we were
Oh,
talking about the commander interface. Do you know how to operate that?
I don't because I don't have a commander tag.
Okay, well then you don't need to know then. It's really mostly for commanders to know. Callie, do you have a tag and do you need to know?
I learned from what y'all were saying already. Thank.
Okay. All right. So, um, for tonight's lesson, we're having commander training, And I'm looking at my audience, and most of my audience knows what there is to know about Commander. So I guess what I'm going to say is there anything that somebody wants to know that we haven't discussed before, or that might refocus my class here? Anybody want to know something? Alcide, I know that you've been reading the book, so
Yeah, I do. And it's when the commander's running around. How the hell do you stay on top of them? And the next time I look, they're on the other side of the map. Not when I say the other side of the map, they move to the other, like another side or a position. And they say go left, and I go left, and it's actually I went right because they were talking about their left.
All right, so there's a really easy way to do that. Probably it's going to be easier for me to explain this since I'm the one to take up.
Yep.
All right, so if you all stack on me, dismount, just stack on me. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to center my tag in the middle of your screen, okay? Pretend there's enemies all around us. Just focus on that. You don't need to know where the enemies are. That's my job. You just watch my tag. So if I say move left, we all move left together. If I say dodge right, we all dodge right together. And you just keep the tag in the center of your screen, and you follow it that way. If you lose it, a trick that some people have told me, when you're learning to follow it like that, it can be a little difficult. And if you lose it, you can find it on the mini map and go towards it in that way.
Yeah, I'm constantly looking at the mini map sometimes.
Another thing that some people find helps is to also control T on the commander. So hopefully
Right.
that helps answer that question.
No, it does, and I'm going to try doing that because I will lose the commander in the middle of a fight. I swear to God, I'm following them, and then I look up and they're like down the hill or something.
So something that can help is make sure that you're turning with the right click of the mouse. Don't be trying to ASWD turn because you're going to move. Also, bind a key to do the about face movement, which is a 180 completely turn around, so that if you do end up getting mixed up or something, you can very quickly turn around. I don't actually know what it is by default, but
that would be in your settings area, though. I'll go look at it for you.
also the last. So I don't know how you play, but I'll do a eagle eye view and then scroll all the way out, so it's truly top down, middle of the screen. I can follow Fiora. Being scrolled in just screws me up and I lose the tag. So
Yeah, I try to go as far out as possible. I can't. My vertigo will kick in if I do too close and see things zoom by too fast.
yeah.
I mean, I play fully zoomed out,
It's
and
called
I can manage to stay on the tag, so that shouldn't affect too.
it's called about face, and that's in the movement section under options and control options.
I have mine bound to L so that if I'm running, I can literally just hit L and I'm going the other way.
I wondered why you was hitting me all the time. Damn it.
Where was that again, Amber? Can you say
Okay,
that?
so it's under options, and then you go down to your little mouse part, control options, and then in under the tab movement, it's called about face.
I got it. Thank you.
Yep. Is there anything else that some people would like to know about commanding? Like, I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of stuff I could go over, but the book is like 24 page. Just the commander section is 24 pages long. So,
Why don't you just start going over it, and then if
but I don't want to bore everybody. I thought last week I bored people.
Bullet they will tell you if you're boring them.
Will they? Because I don't think they did last week.
Most people don't press the
Oh.
button when they snooze.
I will tell you if you're boring them. Okay.
Part of the problem is you don't know what you don't know. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I like that. That's well said.
Yep, it's on.
All right, I'm gonna go over what the basics of a decent, and maybe possibly a good commander is. A good commander doesn't mean you have to be a fight commander. A good commander doesn't mean you have to be, as you know, K-train commander or whatever. You can be whatever commander you like to be and still be a good commander. There's some basics, and the basics are following. Learn to follow other commanders because that's how you learn how to teach your followers to follow you. Is if you follow other commanders, you also learn their style, which can help you refine your style in commanding. So it's always good to follow commanders. Some of us have been following commanders way back when and haven't lately. But hey, I caught Fira this week, so woohoo for me. Um, Always carry your own siege. If you're in a World v World command guild, though, this is usually not a problem because most World v World guilds, at least most that I know, do provide their commanders or help provide their commanders with siege. In addition, sorry, Fira, I went out the door. My bad. Um, in addition to the them helping you provide, sometimes when you lead, some of your followers will send siege to you as well. This helps out too. Supplement it. There is a guide in the commander guide that tells you the difference between the three types of sieges. I'm assuming everybody understands the differences, or do I need to go over that?
Walmart.
Okay, but what is Walmart siege?
That's the blue stuff, right?
Right, and why should you not throw blue
It's
stuff?
cheap as shit.
Okay, but all right,
It
yeah,
takes
it's
a
cheap.
lot of supply for not as much punch.
Damage. Yes, exactly. Soul is correct. It does. It most certainly does. But there's another reason that we don't use blue siege. Does anybody know what the other reason is?
Because you use the blue siege to make your guild.
You make your guild, and the purple can be made by the blue siege. So blue siege is valuable to make the better siege. Everybody get that?
Yep.
Okay, so which one's better, purple or guild?
They're the same, except for the guild, I believe, takes less supplies.
Okay, they do the same damage but take less supply, but there's a little asterisk here. The only piece
Yes, I don't know.
the only piece of siege that is not better that's guild than purple is a golem suit. The purple one's actually better than the guild in terms of what it can do for
I want to interject something in there.
okay, go ahead.
If your enemies are using shield gens, you do not want to use a purple golem.
Okay, there she's got a point. But that's a situational thing too that you have to kind of feel around for too.
Elaborate on why for those who don't know.
Go ahead,
Who's gonna
Fira.
top the-
Back.
Oh, we gotta fight. Let's fight first. Wait, where's Sarah? Oh shit, my bad.
We're running.
How are they up there?
Oh, you
But
come over
come
here,
back
babe.
this
Come
way.
back this way, Fira. Come over
Back
here.
this way.
Over here at this little edge right here.
They're gone now anyway.
No, they're not.
No, they
Oh, they're
were
right
Jump
there.
put down.
stab up. Resistance. Bomb your feet. Bomb your reflect on us. Resistance. Stab.
It's fine. I'll just pick myself up.
Stab going out. We got it down. Focus us down. Try to get our guys rallied. Resistance going out. Stab. Reflect on us. Cleansing. You got some downs, guys. Good job. Good job. You focus them all the way down. Another one on my feet. All right, now we'll go down and get the guys at the bottom, and then we'll res our friends.
Ooh, more coming.
Cleansing. Small stab up. Cleansing going out. Cleansing. Just stay on top of them. You got them. Stab out.
This is their spawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. They still have to run down here. Kill these ones. Stomp them if you got to. Most of them are down. Or almost down. This scrapper is about dead. Small step up. Good job, guys. Nice save. Despite me putting us in a terrible position to start. Yeah, if you want, Sice.
Okay. I'll let Star
Okay,
finish
so
messing me.
the problem with the gollies is reflection on the. Oh, for fuck's sakes! Now I can't think of what the hell to call.
Reflection on the shield generator.
Thank
So
you.
if you use a purple golem, they are considered ranged. So if you use a ranged golem and you're being reflected, you're not doing any damage. But if you use the gold one or even the light blue one that is used to make them,
Did you want to take
they
their siege
will,
out up there?
Yeah,
Working on
it's,
it.
it's down. It's down. It's down.
no, don't worry about. Oh, I was gonna leave it because
Oh, okay.
this is not theirs.
Vera, could you cover that again? I still don't understand
Okay,
the difference of the golems.
So if you use a purple, sorry, a light blue one or a gold one, they aren't ranged, so they will go through the shield gen. The shield gen will not block those.
Yeah, their one skill is basically a melee, right?
Yes.
So you want to use the purple, or not the purple, you want to use the blue and the gold because they can penetrate the shield.
Right. If you're using a gate, you would want to use a gold one or a light blue one over a purple one. That's why when we run, I always build guild ones instead of omegas. I rarely ever build omegas. Omegas are good for taking down siege, but if they start blocking with the shield gen, they will not do anything.
Right.
And alphas are the blue ones?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, I never use golems, so I
It's
just build
rare
them
to
down.
use them. The reason most people don't use them is because they're clunky to get across the map. So when you're taking something, unless you have like a really big group, which there are times when we should be able to use them, but you know, it takes like 100 to 150 to build a golem of supply. That's a lot of supply. So part of commanding is managing your supply. That's like one of your biggest things is managing the supply. This is why we get so upset when people lay siege down that we didn't lay. Because we have a plan in our head. We have X amount of siege to build with, and people are laying random siege down. It messes with what we had our supply count with. So managing siege or supplies is one of the major things that a commander does, is managing to make sure that we have enough for inner and outer of, say, where we're at right now, you know?
All the way over there.
Another thing is another good reason why I usually use the gold ones. Once we get this ram up, the gold ones you
Versus Arcana.
only cost 50 supply. So I prefer to just throw them at the gate, and you can
Right.
build them right there. And then, I mean, if you use them on outer, we didn't go through the gate on outer because they had the wall almost all the way down this time. But if you use it on outer, you can take it into inner with you. So it basically works as a purple
Just
ram.
upgraded
Fly,
this.
please.
That's good. That means green can't come in behind us.
Right, exactly. That's what I
This
was
is
looking
that
behind
that
us
is wonderful. I am actually really happy that this just
Oh.
upgraded.
Yep, yep.
I'm gonna get out of this golem because I don't have any masters on.
So which golems can hit walls and gates?
That would be the purple columns, the
Uh-huh.
omegas. So these ones here.
Okay.
This is another
So they-
thing about commanding is knowing the siege. And I did a breakdown. There is a breakdown in the manual of, like cost supplies and what they do, what they can and can't do to, And of course, it's all on Wiki as well. So you could really find,
Shit, sorry, Sice.
No, it's fine.
No, don't bother. We'll either get this or we won't, and then we'll get you.
Where is he?
Because I don't want green coming in behind us.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
why I didn't
right?
do it.
There's one more ram there. You guys want to
anybody got supply? Okay, so that's the siege part. So the fourth thing I have on here is learn the maps, which most of you guys are pretty good at that because L is a very good teacher because he loves this BL. This is the main. Everybody usually knows the Alpine ones pretty well, but this particular map we're on, a lot of people don't know, or they say they hate it, and the reason they hate it is because they don't know it. But lucky for you guys, you have L, who absolutely adores this map and has ran you guys around here. That some of you should pretty well know this map pretty good by now. But
Well, I'm
still,
not the only one that knows it anymore. I mean, everybody knows.
well, yes and no, because I still run into people, that don't.
A lot of the fight commanders will not know this map very well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a K-Chain commander, you really want to know this map because it's the easiest map to avoid the enemies on if you're planning on doing that. I like to do a little bit of both, so I need to know all of the maps.
Yep.
I like both too.
I like
Although
big
I do
butts.
end up doing more K-Train than anything, but that's only because of the nature of the
Alright,
night
so-
I lead. So
We're gonna burn this lord down, and then we're gonna port to Gary. We need to the help bay.
Home BL.
Yep.
I'll start heading there once I'm out of combat.
Yeah, because you're stuck outside or in shit.
Yep. It's fine. It was gonna take me like 10 minutes to solo that shrine.
Hey, I know the feeling. I do.
Sorry for interrupting, Amber.
no, that was fine. That's fine.
It's another part of the commander's job, managing scout call.
Mm-hmm. This is another thing. But we were talking about finding your style. This is true by finding commander. Some commanders like Fiera likes to do both. I like to do both, but then you have I don't know if anybody's had a chance to run with who, but those commanders tend to be more fight oriented. And then
I do both too.
they do both, but I do know that they will purposely look for fights.
Technically, I'll do that too.
There you go, Saphira too. Um, so
Sierra's a bully.
Oh, she gets bloodthirsty.
Yeah, I'm like, this is so boring. Let's go find something to kill a guy.
She does. I can see it in her eyes too.
this
It's like,
session is learning session. There, Fluffer Kitty. That's what we're doing.
Take some supply from Gary and we'll run over there. Are you over there yet, Slice?
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on up here.
They said they're in the ruins. If that helps.
I say, because I don't see any damage anywhere.
Alright, we're gonna stack here. Because we're gonna have to go to the ruins probably.
yeah, I wish I could name that little fiery effigy thing Mini Me.
The other thing is, to be a good commander usually is voice commands, but there is a side note to that, and that is there are no text manders. Those are people who never use voice comms, but always use text to do everything. It is more difficult to command that way. Also, less intuitive that way. When you have voice command, you can say it faster than you can type it, and people hear it and register it faster than they can react faster to that command. That's not to say you can't do text commanding. A lot of people do, and it's possible. Just letting you know that that's a harder way to do so.
Huh. They must have taken the siege out already.
Yeah, well, we killed some of them. I never even saw the siege to begin with.
There's a shield gen, but that's it.
Charge your Mantros CYM. It's for firebrands primarily.
Okay, so another thing to makes a good commander, regardless of their style, and is having a decent builder class. Does anybody know why we need to have a commander with a good build and class?
They have to stay alive because if the commander dies, everybody scatters like rabbits.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, while we're talking about that, what do you guys think, as followers, a commander should be on when they're leading? Or what would you think a good class? Let's just go with class because there's different builds, so we're not going to go into that. But what do you
Something that
think?
wears heavy metal.
True. That is true. That's not to say, though, that some cloth or some leathers can't be effective as well. In fact, I didn't think I was too bad on tank. The only reason I gave that tank was because there was getting too many scourges, and I felt we had too many scourges, so I was trying to bring something else. I did like tank, but she wasn't built necessarily like a scourge was being built. She was built with more toughness and vitality in her than what some of the builds recommended for a scourge. So it's possible to lead on, and Vera used to lead on to Ellie. So it is possible to lead on some non-heavy metal things. It's just important that you know how to survive on that, and that you're. Go ahead.
You also need to have a personal firebrand if you're going to lead on something that is not got its own stab. So that's something to keep in mind too. Or because you're not going to survive very well on, say, a scourge if you've got no stab.
Right. There are. Right. Exactly. So it does help with your team composition as well, and who's always following you. That's why most commanders that I know have a sidekick like Fira's.
I'm going to ask a dumb question.
Mhm.
When you say stab, you just mean cast a spell or
Stab
use a
is
weapon?
stability.
It's a
All
boon.
stability. Yeah.
So you don't get knocked around all the time.
Yep. And like a Rev
'Cause
has
mine
it.
is-
A Rev has it. Guardian has it.
Guardians have it.
Yeah. So
Reapers have them too when you enter Shroud.
true.
Stand
A
your
Reaper.
ground is one of mine.
Yeah, the reason why most people prefer the stab from the firebrand over the rest of those classes is the firebrand can share a lot more of the stab.
Yeah.
So, say the Reaper, it doesn't actually share the stab, I don't believe.
No,
Wait a
it
minute,
doesn't.
wait a minute. So to lead on a firebrand, I have to learn another class?
No.
You have to learn firebrand, yeah.
It would. No. Firebrand provides the stability, is what we said.
Yes, I understand what she said, but what I said is if I plan to lead on a firebrand, I have to learn a new class.
Well,
you-
that's
if
kind
you
of what
have-
I did.
If you haven't already learned firebrand, yes, but if Elle can do it, anyone can.
I know, right? But I'm not doing well at it.
Now, a term for killing stuff would be bomb or secure downs.
Yeah, but you got
Attack that.
I know that now. During the fights, I was like, what the flip is...
Yeah, no, I understand.
Falls down.
Stab them with the pointy end of your dagger.
That's
There
why
are
Amber's
more.
doing these classes, guys. So
Right.
that we can learn things like this.
Right. Okay, so another thing a good commander does is feel the map, know what's going on the map, understand how the map is. Elle will give you examples from back in the day when the first year of World v. World, when I could literally tell you when SBI was going to hit our map and what we needed to have and what they were going to hit. I don't do that anymore. Fuck that. That's too much work. But I used to know everything about every fucking damn server we came up against and where they where they were gonna hit. I knew what they were gonna do, when they were gonna do it. It was ridiculous, but I don't have that much energy to keep up with all that anymore. But it is still good to know and understand what's going on the map in terms of where the enemies are. That's where your good scouts come in handy. Um, are they organized? Are they slow? Are they, is there a lot of them? Is there little of them? Knowing that helps you plan. And fuck me, I lost my tag. Oh, there it is.
Order waypoint.
That's why I lost my tag.
Going back to red.
The next thing is keeping your squad happy, and I don't care if you're a fight commander, a K trainer, or whatever kind of commander it is that you're choosing to do. If they're fucking losing their pip juice, they ain't happy. So you just got to keep it up. Just keep up the pip juice.
Can I add something really quick, Amber?
Okay.
For something I found helpful as a scout and when I've commanded, like 3 times I've done it, for knowing map knowledge, www.intel.com is pretty much a live feed of all of the maps. So you go on there, you choose what world you're on, and then you can actually focus in on just whatever borderland you're on. And it'll give you pretty up-to-date information. So if you're running towards a camp and then all of a sudden in that you have to have a second monitor, obviously, to kind of watch it. But you can kind of see how things are flipping really quick. As a scout, it was really important because I couldn't watch the whole
I
map.
would like to interject on this one thing about the dual monitor thing. It's not always necessary. You could have that.
No.
Well, the site he's talking about
It
also
does
has.
talk to you, but
Yeah.
it's annoying as fuck.
It
if you
is
have
a
to
little
watch one.
annoying.
Oh,
Some
okay.
people can just
Ooh,
turn it up
fuck.
though, and like have it
Stupid cat.
in the background running, and it would say South Camp
Just wait there.
Blue
Baron, and
BL
get you off.
taken
Yeah.
5 minutes
Yeah,
ago or
okay.
whatever. So there's that. You do have that option. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Sice. I didn't mean to interrupt too much. I just wanted to put that
Baron,
part
what
in
are
there.
you doing down here, buddy?
Oh, it's that stupid cat, man. It doesn't turn.
Yeah, it doesn't turn that way.
No.
ran way too far straight ahead, and the cat just turned way too late.
But that is a good site, and I think the stats one does it too. The MOS Millennium Stats, whatever the heck it's called, too. It has a map as well. I used to use that map all the time until the other one came out. So
So you can watch it live, huh?
Yeah.
Is it the map or the players?
the map, you
it's
can
the
only
map.
see. It
It's
won't tell
just the
you.
map.
Just
It
the map.
it
Oh.
will not tell you that there's 20 XL.
No, that'd be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
no.
have to spy into streams
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that onto it.
Yeah, it's not going to tell you that there's 20, man 20 hitting fire or whatever. It's just going to tell you that this flipped so long ago, and it's going to have a little timer on it telling you when the RI is up.
Yeah, and you can disable the voice announcements
Right.
too. It can get a little annoying when like 5 things flip at the same time.
I have a hard enough time watching one screen, so I probably won't ever fucking do that. Sounds interesting.
Make sure you take care of your scouts because they're the ones that are going to help you keep awareness on the map. So, keep a good relationship with scouts, and they will keep giving you information which helps you run the map. So that's
Another
Go ahead.
thing to mention with the scouts is if they are in your squad, you can help them keep their participation up by giving them shared participation. You do this just simply by left clicking on their name, and there'll be an option that says share squad participation.
Right, and you can have one scout per every 5, I think, is it? Or is it every 10?
Mhm.
I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, it's every 5.
Yeah, for every 5 people, you can have one scout. So,
right now, we could have 3 scouts technically if we wanted.
and I think
Does that mean I
lieutenants.
can get participation by going AFK?
No.
Only if your guild allows that. Let's put it that way.
I'll
Some-
sweet talk
some-
my guild later.
Some guilds will some guilds will allow that, some guilds will not. So it might depend on too why you went AFK. You just went AFK for the sake of being AFK, it might be a little less likely to go to you.
No. My AFK would be to smoke a cigarette.
Depends how long you were smoking because there's
Back in the day, I used to have
Yeah.
scouts who were in college, and the college kids would be studying, and they would park their butts up in like a keep or something, and read and do their lessons while they were reading, and watch the tower or the keep or whatever. And that's how I got my intel. Was that's how back in the day I got intel. Was I had a lot of college students, and they would just pick a tower or something to babysit, and they'd say, I'm babysitting this for you, Amber. And they babysat it, and that was before participation, of course. And they would just let me know, and they would be studying their homework and scouting the thing, scouting the tower or whatever for me, and refreshing the siege. They'd always keep the siege refreshed. So that was nice. I don't have any scouts like that anymore. They're all gone.
They're all grown up.
Yeah, they all grew up and moved away.
Away from Geldors.
Pretty much.
Away from college, man.
So make sure you treat your scouts right. Some people do tip theirs. I do not. I figure you're in World v World for a reason, and then, hey, I can give you participation. You'll still get stuff. So, but some do. And remember to compliment your people when they do a good job. You're only as good as your squad. Just remember that. And any commander who thinks that they're doing everything on their own is full of shit and got a big ass ego. Just saying. Because really, it all comes down to who's running with you and how they're playing. Because they're, they're just following you. Yes, so you do have some control over it, but if they're not laying the right skills and they're not doing whatever, then you're shit, right? So, but when they are laying the right skills and the right stuff is happening, you're going to do good, and it makes you look good as a commander, and therefore you should compliment them when they're
Red
doing
up ahead.
Oh, this
Red up
poor,
ahead.
this poor guy.
There's
Good
another
job,
one.
Ellie. Oh,
Commander.
there's another one right behind it. Oh, that one turned around and left. Said, "Oh fuck." He's still peeking around the
There's
corner
more
there.
here. There's another one.
It's just,
There's
two.
two. Yeah,
But
there's two running around
unfortunately,
here.
they scouted us, so
Mhm.
that's not what I was kind of trying to avoid. But
They're running towards their Gary.
yeah, their
Thing.
Gary's contested, so I think we're still gonna do this. Or no, it's not contested anymore. It was contested though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on.
They're following us.
Maybe I'll just wait until we do this.
Roger that. No, just get the cannons. We're not gonna stay. We're just gonna knock down these cannons and then we're gonna go somewhere else.
Okay. Alright, so there's a Zerg meta. As a Zerg squad leader, each commander does usually figure out their own little quirks. Like, for example, Fira doesn't allow her lieutenants to set up the squad team. She locks her squad. I, on the other hand, I ain't got time for all that bullshit. I let my damn lieutenants take care of it. So, I let the lieutenants take care of it. But, my lieutenants pretty much know what I like. They know I want, the basic meta in there. Does everybody know what meta is? What classes are meta?
No.
Anybody else not know, or everybody know? The Taz is just trying to avoid having to read the book. Just saying.
Well, that's part of it. No, I'm not going to remember, so it don't matter.
That's another thing too. But anyway, so does anybody else need to know that as well? Do I need to go over that?
I'm looking for participation points tonight. That's why I'm asking questions.
Okay.
No, you're looking for points for after the game's over. Oh!
So, meta, just a brief rundown. Shit.
Target's moving.
I'm trying to catch up. I'm fucking
Man,
in
somebody
combat, so I
found
can
the
get the hell
ACs.
out. and I'm limping.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
there we
found
go.
the ACs finally.
There we go. All right, out. So meta is for in general. Now, some commanders, there's debate among commanders about what exactly meta is, and every commander has a preference on what they like, more of or less of. But in general, there's an overall, a few classes that is expected in every Zerg squad, and that is Firebrand, Scourge, Herald, and Scrapper. So those four are definitely 100% meta. Um, the others
At this time, probably.
at this
yeah.
time exactly.
Yeah.
Others are still considered meta, but they're like situational or commander based on how much or how little they want. So the next would be Chronos. Those are more such situational, but like one per Zerg is pretty good, you know. Um,
Some reds up ahead in the circle there.
Ellies are nice because they do a lot of DPS, but they also can be a hindrance if they're not played well because they can die really easily. So some commanders run really heavy because they have a lot of good Ellies that follow them. Others don't have a lot of Ellies because they don't have really good Ellies or whatever reason. But Ellies are still considered, um, in the Weaver building at least, considered meta, but it's also a preference kind of thing. And then Warrior. Warrior is the current meta is 2 per 50 for most commanders. However, there are some commanders who really like to have the Warriors, but then they have them well coordinated where they're. Oh, I always forget the name of that boob skill. What's the name of that boob skill, guys?
Bad bubble.
Wind of Disenchantment.
Winds of Disenchantment. Thank you very much. That's correct. You don't want those all to go off at the same time, so you want your warriors to be kind of coordinated if you have a lot of warriors. Um, so again, warriors are kind of like a preferential kind of thing, but they're still considered meta. What is not meta for Zerg is thieves and rangers. However, some commanders, i.e., me and Fiera, for the most part, will run with thieves and uh, rangers and not get pissed about it. Some will get pissed about it and kick you out, but not us. So, but they're not meta. Let's just put it there. They are meta for. I'll tell you what they're meta for. They're meta for roaming. That's what they're meta for. They are great.
They're metaphors.
They do also make really good scouts because a good scout is usually a roamer. So yes, they are really good for scouts. So yeah, thieves and rangers are not considered meta, but they are good for roaming and scouts. Okay.
There's a red above us. There's a red above us.
Bubble.
Watch for the sable.
Yeah, he is close to that one.
He came out. Just kill him. If you're not on the siege, kill him. Ah, never mind. He's too far. He's too far. Don't bother. Come back to the siege.
He was hoping to get a disabler off, I think.
He was.
Okay, so we have. So now you know what the meta is. Do you know why the meta is the meta is? Why?
Stay alive during hand-to-hand fights.
Yeah, but okay, so why is it Firebrand meta?
Superior supportability.
They're weak.
This is
Hey, guys,
Dice
guys,
is right.
back-
Get on Fear,
back
guys.
out.
Fear.
We gotta go help Hills because people won't help.
Okay.
We're not gonna let them take our T3 keep.
So does everybody understand why Fear is leaving a garrison to go defend something?
That's also a good question.
I only know because someone said it's a tier 3 and we're not going to lose it.
Okay, so there's multiple reasons why we don't want to lose our T3. Oh fuck, I shouldn't have got on my mount. Oh, I survived. Okay. One reason, if you're trying to actually win the PVT game, which that's not really a concern for us at the moment, but if we were concerned about that, it is worth far more for us to keep this T3 keep than it is to flip their garrison to paper. Secondary reason is we don't want to lose our waypoint, so we'd like to keep that. And yet another reason is if we let them take this, that just empowers them to take more of our stuff. So they will then go take our Gary, like that's
Right.
Just got through Otter.
Yeah, I got one right.
Back to the more. It's worth us keeping the
Ooh,
T3
okay, that's
thing.
more than 8 reds.
Yeah,
If
that's laggy.
oh, there is a lot in there, Fira.
Yeah, that's more than 8 reds.
You want stealth
1, 2,
here?
3, 4. No,
Yeah,
wait.
stealth.
They're
Stealth
split.
down. Please blast. Please blast.
Get off your mount. Get off your mount. Well, I guess pudding's here, so that's good news.
Billy. Fucked out front.
I'll stab up.
Push.
Alright, so these guys out here on us. Resistance.
Scaring down.
Did he just walk through that wall?
Alright.
What?
Get these down.
I think there's.
Here.
Oh.
Focus them all the
Oh
way down.
yeah, I can walk through this wall. This is weird.
It happens.
Oh yeah.
It's a glitch. It's known. It's very rare, but it does happen. Relogging will fix it.
Stay on tag.
I'm putting supply in this
Get on.
wall.
Is there anything else in here? Get them?
Sniffing.
There's more
there's
reds
nothing
outside.
real.
There's more reds outside.
Outside? Okay.
Which, like the north?
No, where they were earlier. It was like
I see
2
one.
or 1. Oh, okay, it's just the one then.
Okay, back to the pointage thing. I do want to point out that I did put a breakdown of points in the book, so you can go look at it. It's also on Wiki. There's a breakdown of what points you get for what structures and what tier they are. So if you want to look that over, you can. But that's mostly why you keep a T3 though, is the points.
It's also just general good morale to
Right.
know that
That's
that
another
a
reason
commander
that
will come and help
we
you if you
didn't
call.
go over. If you don't save things, your scouts stop scouting for you.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
there's nothing for them to scout at that point.
No,
Well, and they
but
just
no,
know
it
you
just
won't respond.
you
No,
won't
so if they
respond.
90%.
Didn't respond to Hills, then they come to our Gary. We no longer have scouts left because we didn't answer Hills.
Right.
Right.
All's 100.
671 supply.
Yeah, it was full.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. I don't know if that's in your book or not, Amber, but communicating with other tags that want to work with you is also very important as a commander.
That is, Commander, and I do think I did leave that out. That is very important. Thank you. It is important to foster good
Also
relationship
chubbing
with
a
other
tower.
commanders because you never know when you're going to need backup. But that being said,
The line.
sometimes some commanders take advantage of that too, so you have to be careful. But, usually you meet friends. Like, I can work with Fira, I can work with Elle, I can work with Sai, I can work with most of the people that I've been around, but there are a couple that I haven't been able to work with because they think they can command me. And I'm like, wait a minute. Then it gets a little iffy, but you should work well with, or try to work well at least with other commanders because there's some good strategies with two teams too that can be taken. Like for instance, Fira was trying to take that Gary on the other map. If we'd had another tag, they could have been hitting something else while she hit that Gary, forcing the enemies to choose between two targets. So that's a good strategy um, to use when you're trying to take things or when you're trying to protect things as well. So um, it's good to have that, foster that as well. You are correct, Freya. Thank you for reminding me. I went over siege earlier.
Tower is being trebbed on the back wall and the front wall next to the gate.
Trebs? They actually built trebs?
No, I am trebbing it from
Oh, you're trebbing.
hills. Yes, it's being
Firing.
trebbed.
There's a couple.
So there should be damage on the back wall or the front
Yeah.
wall near
Well,
the.
there's damage on both because there's actually some DB here. Catting it.
Oh, cool.
Will do, Sice.
Time to do some real damage.
Alright. Front wall is 51. Let's check what the back wall is. There's some NSP over here. They're dueling. Back wall is 46. Okay. We'll go to the back wall.
I think they're the same because between the time you check the front wall and the back wall, I hit it one more time.
Yeah, probably. But since you're trebbing this one, it will go down faster.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying both. I'm getting two
Okay.
numbers.
So I wanted to also point out that there is a participation we were talking about earlier, keeping your pips up, people's pip juice up, and then we went on to something else. But I wanted to point out that there is a little, I copied it from Wiki, there is a little participation thing, like how much you get for participating, how much time. Like capping a tower and what the pointage is worth and that sort of thing. So do look that over when you get a chance so that you know how to keep participation up the best way.
How low is the wall?
It's about down.
I want to it's at 6%. I want to inject something to that. I have no idea what capping a tower is worth. I have no idea what any of those things are worth participation wise, but I never have any issue with participation simply because the easiest way to keep participation up is simply to not stop often.
Right.
That's right. Yeah, you got
exactly. You just keep rolling. Yep. But some people want to know, some people really do like to worry about the point system. I'm not one, not anymore anyway. But, and so that's why I provided that information, was for those who do like to know what something is worth to
Wait,
our
we
score.
get points for this?
You guys are getting paid.
Not brownie points.
Like brownie points? Oh,
no,
damn it,
not.
Al.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with that. You little shit. Yeah.
So does anybody have any questions thus far that that of anything that we've talked about to this point that want us to go deeper into, that sort of thing? Anybody?
Yeah, can I get an A for today's class?
Jesus.
Is there anything else that doesn't mean what it is? Like stab, I'm still thinking about that. Doesn't mean stab something, it means stability. Is there anything else like that we should be aware of?
Well, I do have a commander list in there, but go ahead, Zeiss.
Bombs usually means just lay down your heavy damage abilities. I think the only class that has actual bombs would be engineer. Cleave, that's a good one. Cleave just means like hit one.
Another one would be breach. So some commanders will call for breach. This is a scourge skill, and that strips their stab and their buffs. So if you hear a commander call breach, that's when you're gonna want to bomb.
Oh yeah,
And you said that's a scourge skill?
Yeah, that's it.
Callie posted it in squad, guys. Ghastly
Reds
breach.
up ahead.
That
Oh, I
is
don't
the
think
skill,
I have
by the
that
way, we were talking about that the other night. That's the skill, by the way, that you do not want to use at the same time that a warrior uses bubble inside the bubble, because then it's a waste. Because the warrior's already doing that when they do their Winds of Disenchantment with the bubble. They're stripping you of your boons. So you don't want Scourge to go inside of that bubble that on the same team and use their ghastly breach, because now you just wasted one of your breach, basically your strippers. And
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love strippers.
I'd rather say strippers personally, not just because breach is only just for scourge, but because there's other classes that have things that strip, such as the warrior. So personally, I'd rather say strip or um, something like that. I'd figure
Yeah,
out something, but
I would
something.
say that one depends on the commander. So, for
Right.
instance, I never call my warrior bubbles up. I have had warriors actually ask me to call them out. I am trusting my warrior's judgment on that because I don't really know when is a good time for them to hit that. So I just let them do it when they think they should.
Technically, I'll give you a good time when the warrior should pull up the bubble is like when, if you've ever run with Fear, like I did last night, and she goes, everybody puts up their stab, reflects, just before she goes in. That's when a warrior, when the group hits, when he hits the group, that's when he needs to put his bubble up, because what he does there is basically strip their boons, thereby lowering their protections and allowing the scourges to come in and bomb them. So basically, just before the bomb is when he needs to put that down.
Right. And most warriors can figure that out for themselves.
Right.
So I don't really find it necessary to call it. You used to call it before because they had to lay it down on the ground, but now it just goes with them. So
There's Swords on Bay. I don't know what's going on.
there's some rumors at the south. We're going to Bay anyway.
Okay.
Sec up here when you're ready.
Okay, so Size says, does anybody know what a choke is?
Choke point?
Yep, same thing. Choke, yep.
So it's not autoerotic asphyxiation.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna go there. I wasn't brave enough.
I wasn't brave enough. What?
This is true. So there are great choke locations in a lot of places.
Yeah, there are.
Bay has a lovely choke place that I used to love to set up siege at, and really have some choke holds for when they got into inner.
You're killing me.
Fiera, when Fiera
killing you.
is
She-
confident, we can go on the inside, and I'll show you some choke points in there since we're here anyway.
If she's killing you, you should use your safe word.
Apple.
Wait, where did Fiera go? Oh, she changed
Red meow.
borders. Oh, she did change borders. Okay. All right. Well,
Sorry, I'll take you to a different choke point.
That's okay. That's fine.
You were saying that as I was.
I know. I understand. It's okay. So, but choke points are really good for narrowing, and if you can get the group choked into the hole, then Jesus fucking Christ!
God.
Oh my God!
You need a mature group apparently to be choked.
Well, it's the mature thing to do.
Oh
Right?
my God!
Hey, sexual choking never killed anybody, and if it did, they died happy.
Oh my God! Okay,
Let's
so
just stop it there.
the reason a choke is great is because you can bomb the fuck. Oh Jesus fucking Christ! Just stop, okay? Just let me get through this, okay?
That's what she said.
Because you can like throw down all the bombs right there at the choke point, and like literally it has wiped out groups, huge groups even, just because they were in the choke. So knowing your choke points and luring them into a choke point is fantastic stuff.
He's moving from the camp.
I see that she's moving west, guys.
Normally, I would say things like that.
I
out
know,
loud, but
I'm
since
sorry.
we are going over an audiobook, I'm not going to
I
bother.
know.
So you guys are going to have to pay
An
attention.
audio
to
book.
Oh my God. Okay. A bridge. This bridge right here. This is a great choke point right here. If you can get them to come across the bridge and you bomb the bridge from the other side, they die.
Apple.
Another important thing too, when using chokes, you want to drop CCs in the choke. Otherwise, you're just gonna get
Right.
out of.
And there are CC skills listed somewhere in the book. Not necessarily the commander section, but somewhere in the book. So if you don't know what your CCs are, I suggest everyone learn what CCs are and what those skills are on the character that you play. Fiera's moving this way, guys, not through the harpies.
You realize she does this shit on purpose so that you pay attention. See?
I'm trying.
Probably. I don't blame her.
Right?
She's got a squad full of fucking nudie squirrels.
It is training, man.
Aren't squirrels usually nude? I mean, I've never seen a dressed squirrel before.
Some of them are hairy, but, you know, we shave ours.
There's sore up
boy,
in here
yeah.
too, guys. You know, don't say it's all nudies. There's some sore up here.
I've got 3 sore.
Yeah.
So it's mostly.
Hey, nudies can be sore too. I mean,
Oh, Jesus.
no.
Anyhow.
Not the kind of sore, guys.
Oh.
Yeah, not that kind of sore. Okay. So, any further questions on anything that we've covered so far?
Actually, I have a question.
Good.
On your now I can't even think what. On your supply,
Uh-huh.
the counts down. How far away? Like, how do you know whether or not your count is accurate or not? Like, if somebody's too far away, not actually on your map. Like, when does it take that into account?
Okay, so it's if they're not on your map, it doesn't count it. But if we can all
Okay.
stack here for a second, there is a couple of commands you can use. So if you're tagged up, you can type /squad info. Now what that will do is it will
Not the
give
dot.
you a
Leave the
list.
dot off. But yeah.
Yeah, don't put the dot there. It will give you a list, and it will tell you exactly how much supply everyone is carrying. Now that's only good if everybody's near you, but if you've got people like a billion miles away, then
It doesn't count them. Like those two
yeah.
blue dots that are way down in the corner of our mini map right now. It's not counting the supply that there when she does that supply
so
info thing.
The other option is you get everybody to stack right tight like you are now, and you can type /supply info. So if I type /supply info right now, it tells me we have 425 supply that is beside us. Now that's not just giving me you guys that are in my squad. That is also giving us any pugs that happen to be stacked nearby.
Okay.
So
Can only tags do that, or can lieutenants do that as well?
Only the tag.
only the tag. But
The plug thing could be positive or negative because
you know, getting everybody together all the time doesn't always work, especially if you're worried about a group coming in. So make sure you choose that time wisely to use that. Number one. Number two, forgot where my train of thought was going. My bad. Jesus.
A good group's going to be already stacked on.
Right.
You guys.
Correct.
Really,
Right.
It's a matter of having the time.
More nudies, so.
This is true. I had something. I was gonna say, minus the stacking thing. I have a good rule of thumb that like it says right now in squad she has 453 supply. I usually knock anywhere between 50 and 100 depending on how many squirrely people I have. Like right now, there's 3 squirrely people running down below us, so that's roughly 50 supply.
He's trying to catch up.
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
You know.
If I have a lot of pugs, I'll subtract some.
Yeah.
If I have a guild group, I don't subtract it because they ought to be.
Okay.
But generally speaking, like it says 400 and some odd supply. I would probably say I have 300 and some odd supply. You know, I usually take off 100, and then that way I get lucky. You know, I'd rather underestimate than over. I mean, I'd rather I'd rather.
It's better to assume you have about 100 less.
Yeah.
Especially if you're pug tagging.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
The way Taz is
One up
talking,
top.
you're gonna get lucky tonight anyway.
Okay, so any other questions so far?
Kill this guy on top of us.
Damn disable.
Alright, now you can. That's okay. We still got 3 up.
If we
Arrow
got
AC.
there being an AC right here.
Top right. If you're ranged, please take that down. Weavers especially should be able to hit it. I'm not sure.
Oh
about
yeah, they're
everything
hitting.
else.
It's going down. It's going down. Yeah, it's
Down.
So if you, another thing, if you're not on siege, you want to be
Disable
keeping the
is
wall-
gone. Disable is gone.
You want to be keeping the walls
Oh,
hot.
they
so
got
that
another
they
AC
can't
up there.
stand up there. Yeah, we can't hit that one. It's too far back.
And
We need just
invulnerability.
close in Vuln. Just stack close so we can keep heals on each other. There's no sense worrying about the being on the Caddis right now because the invuln is another 44 seconds.
And they're rebuilding.
Go. Healing. So the reason why
If you guys stack on
there's
here, I
another
can heal.
reason. If you stack close, there's another reason for stacking besides just getting the heals. The secondary reason for doing this, the reason why commanders want you to stack tight all the time, is because you absorb less damage
10 seconds.
individually if you're stacked as a group. So if I just stood here in this AC fire by myself, I would take a lot more damage than standing here by all you guys, because most skills cap at 5. Alright, invuln's down. Reviving
People up.
pug.
Yep. Oh, around the
Couple
corner to the
coming
right,
through.
to the right, to the right, to the
Start
right.
going up. We're gonna resistance.
Reflect out.
Dodge up. Get off the Caddis. Reflect in the corner. Dodge back.
Oh shit.
Resistance.
Cleansing.
Reflect up.
Fuck, my heals are on cooldown. God damn it.
Stem. Reflect.
It's quite a bit of them, and we
Shit.
already had some down anyway from
Alright.
the
We
From
lost
the
most
AC.
people. Stab going up. It's okay. We didn't move in time. It's all right, guys. It happens sometimes.
well, we had some down already too from the AC. I was resin people as soon as they, there was a couple down from the AC too. To start off with. Okay, so I want to say something about that part right there. Really, we weren't prepared for that, but that was also a good point where they took us though, because it was kind of a chokey kind of way. I mean, it was open, and Fira tried to work us down there to get us into the open, but some of us didn't make it. A lot of people got stuck in that choke point, which was basically where the katas were. And they were going right up to the katas, and there was nowhere for you to move except off the cliff.
Yeah, I didn't tell people to get off the Cata fast enough. Is basically what happened there.
But that was a good point, though, where you saw how fast everybody went down because it was in a small, confined area.
Yeah, everyone except the people that reacted fast enough, basically, got stuck in that choke point.
Okay, I do not.
We were just demonstrating choke points.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's what we were doing. We were training you on choke points. There you go.
What not to do, guys?
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah. So I could go over some fight tactics or some taking tactics and stuff, but it's all in the book. I
I thought we already went over how no one was going to read the book.
well, you know what? I've been proven wrong because you know what? I'm gonna tell you what. I've had at least
Yes,
2 to 3
somebody
people
read the
told
book.
me that they read the book. So they were wrong. Whoever said they
lied.
wouldn't read the book
They
were wrong.
lied.
It's
They
a book?
lied.
What?
Just because they said they read it didn't mean they read it.
No, specifically, I know they really did because they asked me specific questions about something they read up in there. So it must have meant they read something of it.
People read my
They had someone read it and then tell them the
read my
highlights.
pug commanding guide way back when I wrote that. So,
I read
yeah, people are
that
gonna read
one.
your book.
I read that one.
There's a book to read?
It was a pug. Yeah, there's a book tree. It was a pug commanding guide I wrote. It's outdated now, but I wrote it a long time ago for somebody.
I'm just saying that if you know, there's sections in there about you know, some tactics and tips on taking objects or defending objects. I mean, seriously, I could have done a whole class on defending. I seriously could have done a whole class on defending and just taking you from keep to keep to keep, telling you where to build siege and what to build to
I
defend.
feel like that would be separate from commanding.
Right, but I mean, you know, the point I was trying to make is that we could make this freaking long as hell just by going over stuff like that, you know. So that's the point I was trying to make, is that I could go
Mine
on
would
forever.
be much shorter. How to tag. Put tag up. Get killed a bunch. Don't take tag down. Keep putting tag up. Get killed more. Keep tag up.
Well, you know, I want to be informative, but I don't want to overwhelm people either. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know.
Make sure that you win something before you tag down.
I don't always follow that.
Even if it's just a century.
I don't always
care
follow
what it
that.
is,
I
just
know I
something.
try, but I don't always follow that because, you know, sometimes it's like if I did that, sometimes I get caught up. It depends on my time schedule and what I have to do afterwards.
Well, I mean, if you just like literally have to go because you have to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is nice to try to do that, but it's, you know, not the be all end all is what all I'm saying is do try to do it, but, you know, don't feel bad if you can't.
It's more important if you're pug tagging than if you're guild tagging.
If your tag stays up more than 4 hours, remember to go see a doctor.
Dude.
Oh, I guess I should have seen a doctor when I tagged for 9 hours.
I was gonna say I used to tag all for like a huge amount of times. I don't do that no more.
No, Sice, that's how you learn patience.
Oh, you mean like cookies just
I already have
time?
patience, so I can skip that, right?
I do suggest that some people try to, when you build up your confidence a little bit as a new commander, after, you know, you run the BLs a couple of times, because it is easier to command on the BL than it is EB. And the reason is because most of the trolls are on EB. That's why it's easier to do the Borderlands.
I think it's actually also because it's tiring. It's exhausting. You're constantly
going
to be fighting.
There's no stopping in EB. If you put your tag up in EB, there is no stopping. It is go, 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 go. And you are all over the map everywhere. So it is easier for you to, when you're first learning how to tag, that you just tag on the BLs for a little while. But I do recommend everybody trying EB once or twice, just to get a feel of what it's like to have a really big, super big group with you.
Let's get our counter below up here. 3, 2, 1, dropping, please.
Oh, somebody took it down.
Somebody
Nice.
got it. Oh, sorry.
Nice.
Wherever I get that from.
I was just watching the north side here.
They're building a counter kata now. I'm not sure that's gonna work because we're pretty close.
One more incoming. One in the door up north. Only one though. So far.
Yeah, we won't get this because they have EWP. They will definitely come, but we will be very, very annoyed.
That's okay. Annoying is good.
Sometimes that's the only strategy we're playing, is just to be annoying.
Well, that cat is gonna hit. It's gonna knock me off. God damn
Are you in the? Oh yeah, up the ballista, but I mean, like, I don't think it's gonna hit our caddis.
Incoming, big, 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 big off the bridge.
Oh,
off the
oh,
bridge.
oh.
Move left, move left. Step going up. Moving forward. North.
Fuck out.
Resistance.
Front of you.
He's like, turn around behind us.
Okay. And I got knocked off the
All
fucking
stab
cliff.
out. Resistance. Stab up. Cleansing. Oh, we got 2 groups on us.
Yep, we do. Yep.
Hey,
Nope,
oh,
that's it.
shit.
Wow, I had all the conditions. A lot of peeps.
Gotta
Hey.
catch them all.
I have now
no,
died under the command
okay,
of
guys,
Furia.
I
I've
wanna
never died
explain
under
to
the
you
faint.
just how annoying we were there. All right, that Aqua group, they came from me. That's how annoying you were.
That's the point right there.
And the reason I know that is because I'm communicating with somebody that's on the tag that's in EDG, because we have a tag on EDG right now, and they were warning me that we might pull that group if we hit anything big.
And we managed to use up pretty much half of their supplies in that keep. Plus,
good.
that group is now dry because they didn't even manage to fix the whole wall.
Yeah, it was down to 2%.
Yeah, it was down to 2%, but they only got it up to 70 something. They now have to take more supplies from the inside to finish it off. So, all in all, not bad at all.
That is all the point of preparing a BL for you to go in and drain their supply.
Yeah, so if you were, say we knew for a fact that another tag was coming here after, we might do that for that reason too. Or if we were going to run for like a lot longer, we could also do that.
Or
So,
if
we
EB
can run down.
yelled out and said, "Hey, I needed some help." You know,
If they're like, they're on SMC, get them up.
yeah, you would hit something. That comes into both working with other commanders and strategies as well. And that's by you hitting a big targeted item to pull them away from another map. That's the strategy. And pulling them away from EB, that's a big deal. Just saying.
Is leather considered supplies?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
but I'm gonna do it. Get it anyway.
Fiera is commanding. Fiera said sure.
I
Okay.
need time to pour a drink, so.
I gotta welcome this new nudie anyway. I was trying to invite him while you were talking about that.
Alright, moving.
I think they've joined anyway. I gave them the invite. What the fuck? This cat does not move like it should.
No, it really doesn't. This guy's about to have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yep.
And he could still vomit condies all over us.
I think it was a minion master. There's a skill where when you kill the minions, they cause automatic condition fields. So it's probably a passive thing.
Just an annoying thing.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of damage at all.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, so oh, they made me switch documents. Hang on a second here. Sorry, somebody was PMing me about joining and I kind of got off track there.
DP at the big Zerg is behind us in Crankshaft. Or is there some Crankshaft somewhere? According to map chat.
I also got some advice from some other websites for commanding, as in like what other commanders do on other servers. That's in the book. I'm not gonna go over all of those details, but there is some useful information in there. Um, in that PDF. Also, did I give you guys the doc? You guys got the link to the doc last week, right? So
Yep.
It's in your message
yeah.
on Discord.
Well, that's the PDF form, but there's a Google Doc for those who didn't want to do the PDF part.
Oh.
I was very accommodating. Nobody had any excuses.
Did it at least have some suspicious macros in it?
Stack guys, we're about to look into a
No.
fight, so don't get spread out.
But that's how I fight.
If you fight like that, you will lose.
I've been
They
losing.
already have the wall down.
Exactly. We're trying to win.
Yes,
not lose.
Callie. My World v
Move
World
forward.
channels, I do believe I posted them in all of my World v
That's
World
fine.
channels. So there you go.
Yeah, the wall is already down. I think they took down
Yes,
the
as a pin.
That's fine. That's fine.
Lord as well. Yeah,
Uh,
Lord. Yep, they flipped it.
Yeah, there was an Aqua Cata there too, so it's probably best that. All right. Yeah, Aqua is still there. Okay, retreat. We were not gonna win that fight regardless.
This is also a good thing a commander learns. What her group can and cannot take on.
Well,
If-
there's two groups there, Callie, but also Aqua is a better fight group than we are. They are
Yes.
actually a fight guild.
So, but this is a good commanding thing, is to learn about what the group that you're running with is, how well they do against certain other guild groups or other groups that you know. Like we all know that Magi, we can take Magi, right? We all know that, right? So
I don't know. They've gotten better.
well, with even numbers and all things considered, most of the time we can take Magi. Your commander just ported, by the way, back to spawn. But knowing, when to walk away is my point. You need to know when to walk them. Know when to
Know
fold
when to
them.
hold 'em,
Know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. That's right.
Knowing to walk away is important, but also sometimes even if you know you're not going to win, you might engage.
Get your ass
And
in
the
there and
reason for
fight.
that
Yeah,
would be
that group.
to teach your group, or to teach yourself even. To teach yourself or your group. how-
The group from
how to get that.
Crankshaft is now in our spawn camp.
Or
I know.
another
There's
another
sauce.
reason to take them on is to slow them up. So if you wanted to keep Aqua busy and engaged and away from doing something else,
Ooh. Yeah, there's Reds here too on this side. They're headed to South Camp.
for example,
fine.
like
I
we
saw
didn't
three.
want them to go back to EB, or we didn't want them to
Yeah, so
move.
let's say pudding's hitting their dairy, right? They don't know this yet. And we're here and we can keep them busy with us. Then we might want to do.
Mhm.
Right. So,
We
but
get to be the bait.
yes, become masturbators. Yes.
As long as there's no chokes involved.
Hey,
Don't-
Kelly,
don't-
Yeah, but
Kelly likes
Not
that.
stand on the runes, guys, because we don't want them to know that we are here.
don't choke that chicken.
I thought Kelly said she liked it like that.
I don't know what Kelly likes.
We went
So
over
what
utilizing.
we're trying to do right now is we're trying to make them think we've left the map. We're not here anymore. So they get bored and they go back to EBG.
Watch the rune.
Which they will. Kelly is my ass.
But if they're a fight guild, and we're obviously not a real great fight group, are we even worth looking for? I mean, because it's just
They-
gonna be
Bags,
and ridiculous.
bags,
Look for
bags,
us.
and
They-
bags, and more bags.
Yeah.
Yes, we are
Just-
worth
just
looking
for the
for,
bag.
just for the bags.
Also, we've been threatening their map.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they might care about KDR, and so if they can get a higher kill death ratio by farming us.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll do that too.
Paper gates. Look at that shit.
You'll have to hit much harder.
Well,
I gave him my one supply. That's all I had.
Okay, we got 272. Ah, damn, we're seen already.
and disabled. What the shit?
Yeah, he was good.
It was quick, yeah.
There's the AC up there above your head too on the left.
I see it.
Yeah, I'll throw some shit down.
Okay, so we kind of went over everything that I have yet to got to the place here
Is
in the
nobody
book.
gonna use the golem or what?
Oh, I can. If you want me
Somebody's
to.
in it.
Behind us! Behind us!
Shit.
Behind us!
Stab going up.
Stealth going out.
Only 3
Reflex?
or so far.
I saw 5, so I thought they were all there. Yeah,
me too.
there they are on the side.
Oh,
Reflex.
Oh, yeah.
Resistance.
Ah!
Going forward.
Dodge. Small stab out.
Healing going out.
Stab going up. Resistance. Reflect.
Bubble going out.
One zing. Small stab. One zing.
Cleansing.
Stab out. One zing. One zing.
Cleansing.
Oh, we actually held our ground pretty well.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, we're not gonna win because we lost too many people, but we're just gonna annoy them by living for a long fucking time.
Yep. Well, we did better than we did the last 2 times
Stab up.
in terms of living.
Yeah.
Jelly Whopper's
So-
tag is on the map.
Here's what happened there, guys. People got too distracted by the 3. Some people stayed on the gate. So when they pushed, what they did, they pushed the people, knowing that those were the people paying the least attention, so that they could bomb them out first. Therefore, making our group far smaller, because we were probably about evenly numbered there. Just in case anybody wanted to know why that happened. I'm not saying that, anybody did anything wrong, but that's why that happened to us.
At the gate is what you're saying.
Sorry, what was that?
What you're just trying to piece it together is we got distracted by the 5, and we left 3 or 4 people on the gate, and they came in from the side and just wiped out the people on the gate and then wiped us out, right?
Right, there was about 6 or 8 people on the gate still. So we are going to go get this.
Okay,
Power
so
energy.
we've talked about the scouts. We've talked about participation chokes. We've talked about the interfaces. There are other things in terms of strategies we can talk about. Is there any questions regarding that? That maybe we could answer instead of going over every single strategy that's out there?
So since this is relatively new to WW, we should discuss when to mount up as a tag and when to keep your group unmounted.
This is true. Usually you should run when you're running between objectives on your mount. But when you're getting ready to get in the fight, you need to get off of your mount because your skills do not work. And what the
There's
And you do
another
not get
reason for
stealth?
that too. You won't get stealth, yeah.
And you don't get any of the blast.
Did you change color tags?
No,
Oh,
we're
so
still.
She went to a different
There's
BL.
another
Oh
tag.
Oh,
shit. My bad.
Gotta go save Woodhaven.
Oh, the damn thing was scrolled up in my map chat way up above. It was hidden. I had to scroll up to find it.
Slide into the tag. There are people contesting, so we will make it. Powering. Oh, it looks like who beat us here? Just going up. Reflect. Resistance. Just collect your bags, guys. They're done. Who already ran them over?
Yep.
Well,
This is about the time when the other tags start coming up. So we probably should wrap up because, like I said, we were getting too many tags on Saturday night, which is reason not running other than doing these classes. So is there anything anybody needs to know that we have not discussed? And Fiera and Asais, is there anything that you think of that we should discuss?
I think we went over most of it.
There-
I mean, there's some things you're never gonna learn unless you just tag up and roll with it. And if you tag up and you're running and you have questions, there's usually somebody else around that commands that you can ask at that point.
Yes. I will always try to answer questions when people ask me them. If I know it, I'll tell it.
Where do babies come from?
Okay, well, you see,
Yeah, see, you
the
got me in
man
here.
produces this thing called the sperm, and the woman produces this thing called an egg. And when the sperm meets the egg, it becomes a baby.
Mhm.
See, I told you I'd answer.
Okay,
How,
so
how does
I'm
the sperm meet the
gonna-
egg? Is it like a Tinder thing?
I'm gonna throw
Introduction.
that
Oh my
back
God.
on Amber. I think she's managed to get through the entire ebook. So I'm
Okay.
gonna-
Well, the commander part, anyway. Okay. So, anyway, I do appreciate everybody coming. If you have any more questions, do hit us up. We will, answer them again. Next week is Lieutenant and Zergling training, which some of the stuff we talked about today also applies to that. So, but I want to say thank you to everyone who came out today, and thank you to Miss Fiera and Sice for helping me out tonight. I
We
did
have
appreciate it.
swords on hills if we want to defend it.
So, anyway, I want to say thank you. I'm going to put the tag down, but thank you everybody who came, and thank you so much for helping. We probably will need another tag next week. If anybody wants to volunteer to run the tag next week, that's good. If not, I'll try to
Okay.
muddle through. Are you going to do it, Elle? Is that why you saying okay?
Sure,
Oh,
I'll do that
awesome.
while you're yapping away.
There we go. So Elle's volunteering to be our tag next week while we do
Damn
Zergling
it,
and
lean my
Lieutenant Clem.
fucking mouth.
It's Firebrand, right?
Huh? What's that? What was that, Callie?
It's Firebrand week, right?
No. Actually, one more class, darling. And it's a good thing because next week starts that World v World thing, which was going to really throw my stuff off, I thought, for a while because I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're right.
July 5th through July 12th, so basically a week, they're going to do the skill swapping thing. Course, I'm going to post the link in my World v World chat. Yeah. So it's good that we're having a general class like tonight next week. The Zergling Lieutenant class is next week, and that's a good thing because they're doing that swap thing, and that would have been horrible us trying to teach a class and swapping skills. How would I been able to do that? Anyway,
That's true.
all right, it's in the World v World chat, the link about the skill swap that's happening next week. So if anybody wants to peruse that article, it's there. Um, so I hope to see everybody next week for Lieutenant and Zergling training. I don't perceive it to take any more time than tonight did. And we'll also go over some common commander terms, or is also I think part of that lesson. So I hope to see you all next week. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Nancy.
Amber. Thanks for the help.
Thanks, Vera.
All right, I'm gonna go back to this damn puzzle.
A puzzle?
Oh my
What?
god, Cheryl. You know she's leaving in August, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right.
So
She's going to college, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is kind of like a last hurrah thing. She got this 2,000 piece Game of Thrones puzzle, and oh my god, it is a nightmare. Anyway, she wants us to put it together, and I've been working on it all week. So I'm trying to get it done so that she can Mod Podge it and frame it. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
Nothing
It's a
wrong
whole
with
thing.
that
So I'm
either.
trying to help her get that done because it's kind of like the last hurrah because you know she's moving out and all that stuff, all that good
Yep.
stuff. So it's our
The
last thing.
nightmare like season 8 was?
What's that? What was that?
It's a nightmare like season 8 was.
I don't know about that, but it's just to give you an idea.
Very
There's like whole sections where it's just solid blue, like a blue color. Like literally, there's nothing defining it other than it's blue. So, you know, I mean, like what the hell? So, it's.
We'll check this out.
It's the map of Westeros then.
I will
Someone
take
gave
a
me this
picture.
puzzle.
I will take a picture of this puzzle when it's done, and I will post it in Discord.
Somebody gave me a puzzle one time, and it was I mean, it's like a regular puzzle, but on one side was the image, and on the other side of the puzzle was the same image, but it was rotated 90 degrees.
Oh my god.
It was fucking possible.
I'm not usually one for puzzles, but she wanted this done because she thought it would look really cool and she wanted to get it done and she wants to Mod Podge it and, you know, glue it all together and then frame it. And so, you know, we're doing this. I'm doing it.
I did the puzzle of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, the one in Paris, in 3D. It was
Oh
a
my god.
nightmare.
I
Oh,
bet.
yeah, those 3D
I
puzzles are hell.
haven't ever tried that even.